This is group stalking. And so is that. That's Maria Solis Alvarez. And this is ongoing amplification outside of my office, flying over my office. And I'll show you right now the timestamps. This is crossing a path, and this is demonic pacing. You're looking at demons that are doing this. They're doing it in a helicopter, 2 of them. And the volume is amplified inside of my office. And it's also while the light source is directly over my head, which is how you know that a law enforcement agency is engaged in state surveillance. The sun is not going to be over this property. And this is also occurring in the workplace, which is the prosecution of speaker companies and the people of the state that are going under the malicious guise of this entity's state stalking system, which is living and or working at a crime scene where the entity is monitoring an American citizen. And that's what Maria Solis Alvarez is engaging in right now. It's P.O.C. She's in the same exact license plate. She walks into my office right now while I'm uploading this. This is federal stalking that speaker companies Maria Solis Alvarez is engaging in. As she walks out of my office, the entity is crossing path, and her movement in this engineered light right here. This is all relevant to what is activity creation. Remember, the demon possessed are acting in concert. It's an ongoing criminal conspiracy to keep one under surveillance in the very specific environment, which is a phenomenon. There's no sun that would be remaining over the Fontana Lewis Library, by the way, because that's where it's still at. And I'm documenting that light source that's remaining over me, and it is not going to be directly over my head in Los Angeles at 1810 North Alvarado Street. That's the pattern of conduct. That's group stalking by the government, and so is Maria Solis Alvarez, group stalking in concert with that government. She's doing so as an employee of a company, and I'm going to drain the pockets of that company. And as she's continuously doing so with knowledge, monitoring, documentation, she is providing the ongoing grounds of what is a federal prison, and also draining the pockets of that company, because this is what all the employees and all the people that live at this crime scene are doing. Bennett Gosker, again, that's a group stalker crossing path, POC. All right, that's just relevant presence in the path, and that's also basically, I want to let you know what that is. That's a demon that is maliciously targeting someone else, and that's a psychopath that keeps their back to you while they're engaging in that criminal conduct, which is fully exposed. There's no secret about what they're doing right now. It is currently 3:02 p.m. This is also, again, engineered light that's appearing, and the entity is maintaining engineered light inside of my office. This is my shadow that's appearing on the wall. And then you've got a demon-possessed third party that's in the medical field that should have no access to people whom they're threatening the lives of American citizens in this country. When you have demons and when you have terrorists like Bennett Gosker that are in the medical field, okay, shouldn't be able to prescribe anybody any medication, do any sort of surgery, engage in federal stalking as well, while you're looking at impossible light activity appear on my wall inside of the office, while you're looking at the hallmark of what is the entity stalking in a helicopter, because that's what you're doing. You're stalking in the specific environment, and your demons doing so, pacing around in relevant position, just like Bennett Gosker and Maria Solis Alvarez are doing. They're pacing on the ground. This is engineered light. That's not sunlight. And that's also the placement of engineered light that you also see all inside of my apartment, on the ceilings, ricocheting off of windows, underneath my mattress, while the sun that you see above my head is not over the Fontana Lewis Library. This is the light source, not the sun. And it has nothing to do with that light that you see upright on the wall, on the corner of the wall, all right? And it's also speaking to the conduct that you do see, the entity stalking in a helicopter, and then you've got a bunch of psychopaths looking to the left and the right like they're doing anything other than stalking you. That's the system of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it's occurring in the workplace. Bennett Gosker is also going to be removed from the medical field because his criminal record is going to be on its face something that's going to bar him from practicing medicine in whatever capacity that he seeks to. If he is already, he's going to be removed from it. And if he's still in school intending to do so, he will not be able to ever practice medicine. And he's still to date engaged in what is terrorism and seeking to obstruct justice, terrorizing an American citizen whom he is aware is documenting it and enforcing their rights. He's engaged in federal stalking with this entity that's terrorizing in a helicopter, and doing so while that entity is also crossing path. This is what Maria Solis Alvarez is doing while the entity is pacing around me, and doing so, entering into my office while I'm in the process of uploading evidence. And that's what I'm doing right now, uploading the video with the timestamp 2024-05-29, the video that I captured at 12:10 p.m., where this same entity that is stalking in helicopters and repeatedly doing so while I remain inside of my office. So I just stepped out so you could see what Maria Solis Alvarez is engaging in the workplace, creating what is, again, never before contemplated level of a hostile work environment, while the terrorists are literally your employer and your co-workers. They're engaged in terrorism in the workplace, and it's also a sex offense. by an entity, and it's also a demon-possessed entity. Like I said, this is never before contemplated workplace harassment. It exceeds any fathomable level of that which you have a right, a human right, and a constitutional right to not be subject to on the job. Okay, and this is a government that's engaging in this criminal activity and relying on psychopaths such as the employees working for Smart Janitorial group stalking in concert with the LAD, the employees of speaker companies group stalking in concert with the LAPD, the third-party group stalkers that are living at the properties such as Bennett Gossiker, okay, group stalking with the LAPD, all right, under what's a light source that's nowhere near the Fontana Lewis Library, like I exhibited with regard to documenting that light source over me at the same time, and it remains on March 25th. Let me be clear, there's no sun over Alvarado Gardens on that day. That's a light source that will be captured any other location other than where I'm showing you. You know why? Because there's only one sun. Again, but if you want to use that day, and let's do research on the internet, what was uploaded to YouTube or on the television, on the news that day, and I guarantee you will find what is the evidence of what is the unnatural environment, because there is no sun that will be remaining over me as I documented on March 25th, 2022, like I document today, even while I am remaining in Los Angeles, May 29th, 2024, and you're looking at what is evidence of the unnatural environment as it is documented as a matter of evidence. It does not create any exception while I have already captured the ability to witness a sunrise through the same apartment where I live at this property, and also a sunset. That is to the exclusion of anyone in any other state, let alone in a different county or a different city, even on a different block. It's very exclusive. I'm looking at the light source outside of my windows. I'm looking at the light source over my head as I walk out of my office. I'm looking at the light source over my head as I look outside of my leasing office window. I'm looking at the light source while it's above me and the entity is also present in the helicopters. You're looking at the ongoing pattern of conduct, which is speaking to a very exclusive area and a very exclusive behavioral pattern in that area. And that's what the state's criminal system looks like. In all the ways and all the ways and all the settings where that criminal activity is occurring on an ongoing basis. That makes a massive and epic federal prosecution. And it does with regard to what is demonic activity, because that's what group stalking is. Those are demons. Let me be clear. I'm not going to mince words. The entirety of the Los Angeles Police Department, as they continue to show the world what public corruption looks like and what are the condition of those that are engaged in public corruption, they're demon-possessed. They serve Satan. And that's the reason, the explanation for their criminal activity and the psychotic level that they're engaging in that criminal activity. And that's revealing also what's relevant to their routine rehabilitation, which is mental examinations. And then you're going to permeate the lives of that entity. It includes those that are a part of this community. They're all going to federal prison that live at Alvarado Gardens. You're talking about what is disbanding. You're talking about federal prison for stalking, terrorizing an American citizen in helicopters. You're talking about what is going to federal prison for engaging in terrorism in the workplace and doing so with malice, with real-time knowledge that your criminal system is also being documented. Okay, which that provides what is evidence of a very disturbing, ongoing criminal determination to persist when any ordinary, reasonable person that would never be group stalking in the first place, but a reasonable person, and providing evidence showing what is under no circumstances the government resists and refuses to stand down. And let me be clear, Satan's persistence is no evidence of anything other than the same exact defeat. Satan is defeated. Satan and all of its minions are defeated, okay? All of the faces that Satan is using, all of the appearances of Satan that Satan is using, they're all defeated. Because the entity persists, that does not mean that they're any less defeated. You're talking about what is going to be an epic federal prosecution and the consequences of this criminal activity that the entity continues to engage in. That's the same evidence that's going to be present, that's going to be analyzed, for example, and all of that malice, all that impunity, it's going to be captured as a matter of evidence against that entity. Okay? This corruption has been fully exposed, and this corruption in this corrupt system, all right, and the demon-possessed that are engaging in it, entirely defeated. Okay? It is currently, again, when you're looking at stalking, engaging in terrorism, group stalking in helicopters is terrorism. It's occurring in the workplace. It's in the specific environment. And it is 3:08 p.m. That is P.O.C.